What's up, everybody? You're watching B-Boy 45, the hospital's TV and radio station. My name is Chris, hanging with you on this wonderful, what is it, Wednesday? Wednesday after? I think it's Wednesday. I mean, we had some fun playing bingo today. Big things happen on Wednesday here in the Seacrest studio, but big things are happening right now. Maya, are you there, my friend?
Yes. Hi.
Maya's here. Now, Maya, you know, a lot of friends won good prizes during bingo today, but you're winning a good prize right now. Why is it a good day for you?
Because Ty Burrell is calling in.
Because we got Ty Burrell with us on Maya's show.
Hey.
Oh, that's amazing, Ty.
Hey.
Welcome. I'm going to hide my camera and let you guys have a chat. Maya, take it away, my friend.
Okay,
Hey, Maya.
Hi. I'm so excited to be talking to you.
I am so excited to be talking to you. This is really cool. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good. Really good.
Good.
I'm in the same time zone as you. You're in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
I'm in Utah.
Oh.
So it's very chilly here, too. That's why you and I both have hats on.
Yeah. Also, kind of my hair was not cooperating with me today, so.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
So who or what inspired you to become an actor?
I think maybe a couple of things. My dad was a guy who was very funny, and he is somebody who early on, we didn't have any performers in our family or any context, but he put the suggestion in my ear. So he kind of like, he planted the seed that maybe it would be something that I would enjoy just by knowing what a ham I was around the house. And then I was inspired. I started out in theater, but I was inspired by shows where people were doing sort of comic characters. Lily Tomlin had an incredible one-woman show. Whoopi Goldberg had an incredible one-woman show. And I was also inspired by I didn't actually start in comedy, but I think kind of tellingly, my inspirations were comedy people like that, and Steve Martin, and he was moving into film and into acting and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So is sorry.
Oh no, it's fine.
A comedian who's been the most influential on your comedy style?
In terms of performance, I think it would be Fred Willard. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he played my dad on Modern Family.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a very influential performer for me because he kind of perfected a good-natured obliviousness. And then I would say Steve Martin was another person who had a big influence on me. Albert Brooks is somebody who had a big influence on me. And then going way back, people like Bob Newhart and Jonathan Winters had a big impact on me. But really, like, the biggest ones were probably the performances of Lily Tomlin and Whoopi Goldberg, which were comic performances.
Oh, cool. So you've done a lot of stage work, and you've been on Broadway.
For a minute.
What was the best part about being on Broadway?
Well, you know, I was on Broadway for 2 weeks. I was in a show that didn't do very well, but I got there because of the kindness of Kelsey Grammer, who was the star of that show. And he made sure we got to Broadway, even though it was kind of dicey as to whether we were going to make it to Broadway or not. But he made sure we all have that credit on our resume, and I'm forever grateful to him for that. And it was a magical couple of weeks. I did do a lot of other theater in New York, and regionally, off Broadway, and then even off Broadway, and in different cities around the country. And it's an amazing way to live. It's a wonderful life. I don't know what it would be like now that I have kids, because it's a tough life in some ways, because you're always working at night and you rehearse during the days, and you've got to really be kind of available and on your toes all the time. And I don't feel very available and on my toes now that I have kids. But I loved it. Have you ever done theater?
No, I haven't. I took an acting class sophomore year in high school, and I don't know. I think it's fun, but I couldn't memorize any of the lines. So, but I mean, I think it's fun. My sister and I have fun just making movies together. So
yeah, I think sometimes that's just that's the best version of it, right? It can be. It's so fun. There's no stress. My brother and I used to make up all kinds of ridiculous, what we thought were funny things. I don't know if anybody else would have thought they were funny, but you guys record them for yourself?
Yeah, my sister wants to be a filmmaker, and so she directs them. And
cool.
So, yeah.
And how far apart are you guys in age?
We're twins, but she is 3 minutes older, and she always makes sure people know that.
Yeah,
so.
I would too. Too. She wants to make films, huh?
Yeah.
Are you interested in that at all? Or do you like what you're doing, which is very cool?
Yeah, I like what I'm doing, but I always joke with my sister that when she makes movies, I'm like, I will be in charge of, I will tell you need to get this person and this person. When we're watching a movie, I'll be like, you better work with that person one day so I can meet them.
You're the casting director.
Yeah.
That's great. That's so great. That's awesome.
So you played Phil Dunphy in Modern Family, and you won several awards for that show, as well as for the ensemble cast. And that show was so funny. What was it like being part of such a groundbreaking show?
I just feel so lucky, really. I was kind of, grinding it out as an actor for a long time, auditioning, and I was very lucky to get, some pilots, but that maybe didn't go, or I considered myself lucky to be on a couple of TV shows that were on the air for a season or less. But to be on a show that lasted for 11 years and that people seem to, hold, close to their hearts, I feel very, very lucky about that, because as an actor, there's only so much you can control. You do your very best, right? And you try to be a good collaborator and do as much as you can to help solve problems when you're filming. But ultimately, in some ways, a lot of it's out of your hands. So you also have to get really lucky. And I got really lucky to work with really just ridiculously talented writers and ridiculously talented actors. And we had this amazing crew that we all became a big, big family, which I think, happens every now and again with television. Television's kind of cool that way, where if you're around for a few years, you can get really close to people. And I feel really lucky for that. And to your point, or to your question, I guess, it's very cool to have been on a show that broke so much ground, especially with gay marriage, I think, with Mitch and Cam. And so that's something I'm very proud to be associated with the show for that.
Cool. Could you relate to Phil in any way?
Oh yeah. Sadly. Maybe not a great thing, but yeah, the part was written for me. So whatever that tells you, it was written for me, I think, because the writers, Chris Lloyd and Steve Levitan, had spent a decent amount of time with me. By that time, we had done a show before that together, and then I had done another show before that with Chris Lloyd. And they got to know just how oblivious, how sort of, scattered I could be in real life and unaware. And also, we did a lot of, I guess you call them bits, or just we would do a lot of little jokes off screen, where one of my favorite kind of characters to play if I'm joking around is somebody who's sort of missing the joke, who doesn't get it, or maybe isn't following along. And I think that may have also factored into writing Phil a little bit.
So you've done so many cool things, including the web series Boondoggle.
Oh my gosh, you've seen Boondoggle.
What inspired the series?
That series was inspired by the first couple of years of Modern Family, and I had some really unusual opportunities that I had never had. And my friends in LA are a part of a company called Upright Citizens Brigade, which is an improvising, it's basically an improv school and a place where people can go to improvise. One of the founders being Amy Poehler, who I work with now on Duncanville. But my friends and I started going to certain events and doing certain things that I brought them along to learn how to ride a motorcycle because I had to learn how to ride a motorcycle for an episode of the show. And one term for that kind of a thing, like a free trip, is called a boondoggle. So we wrote a few ridiculously silly episodes about these free experiences that I was having and dragging them along.
Oh, cool. So of all the projects and characters you've played, which has been your favorite?
Oh my gosh, of all the characters I've ever played, Phil is definitely one of them, for sure. I felt like I didn't really have to do much to be Phil because it was so close to me. I really enjoyed playing a character on stage, a character named Burton in a play called Burn This, that I did in New York a long time ago. It was also a character that I just felt it was different than me, but I still felt very close to. And I'm a big Peter Sellers fan, so I got to sort of rip Inspector Clouseau off. I don't know. Do you know those movies? The Pink Panther. They're very old.
Yeah.
Peter Sellers was the person who was the original Pink Panther, because Steve Martin also did it and was very funny. Peter Sellers is a guy that also had a big influence on me when you're asking about who had influences on me. He was just an amazing comic actor. Really, if you have a chance to check out some old Peter Sellers movies, I highly recommend it. He was just an amazing actor.
Okay, I have a terrible memory, so I'm writing this down.
Okay, yeah. But I did Muppets Most Wanted a few years ago, And the character was sort of an obvious ripoff of Inspector Clouseau. So that was really fun.
Cool. Yeah. So, you voice a character in the animated series Duncanville. What's the hardest part about voiceover work?
Well, a couple of things. One, I'm not really much of a singer, but my character on the show sings all the time. So, and honestly, I really enjoy it. It's very fun to try to sing, even though I'm not great. Do you sing?
No, I mean, I do, but I can't.
Yeah, thank you. That's me. I do, but I can't. And I really enjoy it. Like, I've had so much fun singing at the top of my lungs almost every episode of Duncanville. And then I just hope to God they go and auto-tune it or something, try to make it a little bit better. That's a tough part. And then a tough but fun part. And then the other part is I generally lose my voice in most of the episodes. The character is very emotional, way more emotional than any character I've ever played. And so that's been really fun, but he's a yeller and a loud crier, and it's a lot of screaming and crying and laughing, and so I usually end up leaving with a raspy voice, but happy.
So you started Tip Your Server during the pandemic to help out-of-work waitstaff in Utah. What inspired this idea, and how does it work?
Oh, that's really nice of you to ask. So I was a pretty bad waiter for many years. I was that waiter that you really never wanted to come to your table, who forgot everything you ordered. And, I spilled more than one drink on, customers at different times. And thereby I was often unemployed. And I have a firsthand experience, and as did my wife. My wife is a good waiter, but she also had the experience of being a server. And how hard that job is, and how dependent you are on tips, and also how hard unemployment is for servers. It's very hard. It's very, I don't know what the right word is. It's just kind of complicated to get unemployment as a waiter, as a server. So she and I decided that we would try to raise money for people that were out of work, who were servers that were out of work. And we partnered up with the mayor of Salt Lake City, Aaron Mendenhall, and an organization called the Downtown Alliance, which is run by a wonderful guy named Dee Brewer. And the three of us spent the first few months of the pandemic raising money and then sending out $500 checks to servers and hoping that they helped. And then we actually we finished fundraising and finished distributing all of the checks about a month ago.
Cool. That's amazing. So
it always feels like you could do more. I feel like, we hope it helped, but you never know, but we hope it helped.
Yeah. So what is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. Gosh, I'm not a big gum person. I think sometimes it seems like it's like we're just chewing food with our mouth open all day long with gum.
Yeah.
Which, my kids chew gum all day long. So I got to get used to it, which I have. What's your pet peeve?
I don't like, I don't know. I don't like when people are like the sound of people eating or like drinking. That just drives me crazy. So luckily I have noise canceling headphones for that. So
you wear noise canceling headphones at the dinner table or at the table?
Yes.
Are we talking about your sister specifically?
No.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get some hot gossip about your household.
So what personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble?
Oh boy, I've got a few of those. I would say sometimes I just feel I'm not great with silence in a conversation. I always wish I was. You know how some people are very stoic, or especially British people I've found are just totally able to, if a conversation comes to an end or there's a pause, it's just fine not just having it be silent. I'm somebody who, when I can feel silence coming, I'm thinking of ways to fill it. It's not a quality I like, but sometimes I just say things to say things, and then I have to figure out what it is that I just said, and that doesn't always feel great.
Yeah, I don't really like silence either. My mom always gets kind of annoyed with me because she's always like, do we always have to have something on? I'm like, I just can't really do silence. Like, she likes silence. I don't. It's like really, I don't know. There's just something about it that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I always wished I was a little more zen, but it doesn't seem to be what my makeup. You and I both, I guess.
Yeah. What shows have you been binge watching during quarantine?
We binge watched. So I haven't been binge watching much because we have kids, and basically as soon as we're done with dinner and we do a little reading, and then it's sort of like my wife and I have maybe a half an hour between, to ourselves. But we got through the Queen on Netflix. That was great. I binge watched on my own while I exercise. I'll watch something, and I watched Ted Lasso, and I really enjoyed that. I really got through that quickly, and that's kind of it. That's really it. I did just start watching American Barbecue Showdown on Netflix, and that's really fun. What are you watching?
I don't know. Well, my family and I, we've binge watched a lot of shows over quarantine and watched a lot of movies. I've been like binge watching like all the superhero CW shows on my own. So I've watched The Flash, and right now I'm watching Arrow, and then I'm going to watch Legends of Tomorrow. So I always joke with my mom. I'm like, I'm very busy. I can't be bothered with school or anything.
How do you expect me to get through these shows if we're going to be constantly talking?
Yeah, exactly.
Funny.
Yeah, I was just watching Arrow before this interview. So.
I haven't seen that. Is that pretty good?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I have an Arrow necklace.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
that's great.
Yeah. So I always wake up before my mom and sister, so that's when I watch it. So
that's great.
Yeah. So I have three more questions for you. Does that
Absolutely. Fire away.
Thanks. So, what is your go-to song when you want to be cheered up?
Oh, to be cheered up. Oh boy. This is pretty on the nose, but my daughters and I, so when Pharrell made Happy, that song,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but he recorded 24 hours of people dancing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's the video, right, of the song, which is great, with Steve Carell in it. Well, there's a 24-hour thing, a companion thing that I think you can still see online. We watched all 24 hours of that dancing, of people dancing to the song over and over and over again. The three of us together. My wife was sick of the song, but so that song makes me happy in a way that's kind of, deeper than the song maybe, because it always reminds me of dance, because we were dancing along a lot, me watching and dancing with my daughters for 24 hours. We didn't watch it 24 hours consecutively, by the way, I should be clear. Okay. How about you? What's your song?
Over quarantine, I've had Broadway soundtracks on repeat, and then cool. I've also had the singers Ben Platt and Asher Angel on repeat, so I'm always listening to one of their songs.
That's great.
So yeah, so any of their songs, any songs from the Broadway soundtracks, I love. So. What?
That any of those make you happy?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, but actually, I do have specific songs.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben Platt's song Rain, and then Asher Angel's song Guilty. Those are my two go-tos.
Does Ben Platt have his own album out?
Yeah.
Ah, cool. He's so talented.
Yeah, he is.
That's cool.
And over in May, his a movie of one of his concerts came to Netflix, and so I've watched that so many times, because I'm like, until he comes to Denver and we can go see him, this is the closest I'm getting. That's so cool. I watch it all the time.
And did you see him in I'm forgetting the play.
Oh, Dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen?
No, we didn't.
Oh, I bet it's recorded somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, we've listened to the soundtrack a lot though. Yeah. So
he was wonderful in it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So do you have a motto or quotation that you live by?
I don't really. I have kind of a few. I was sort of lost when I had a tough time when I was in my early 20s when my dad passed away. And I kind of figured out that my instincts are actually who I am. This sounds like a weird thing to say, but I didn't quite know that my instincts were actually who I am. I was sort of having an identity crisis. So I usually say my instincts are who I am, and who I am is enough. That's a little bit of a motto that I say to myself. And I also have had a motto, which I think Ben Hogan, who's a golfer, old golfer many years ago, who also said, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that one has always sort of rung true to me. So yeah, but there's always a few. I'll hear one. I don't know what you're like, but I'll hear a motto and it'll sort of stick with me for a while.
Yeah. Me too. I have a bunch of lyrics from songs that
Oh, yeah?
I did. Yeah.
Like what? Like what?
There's a song called "So We Did," and it's from a show called The Mayor, and it's by Brandon Michael Hall, and he says, "They told me that I couldn't, so I did," and that just like that is probably like the one like I can't think of any other ones
Yeah,
right now.
but that's really cool. That's deep.
Yeah, so that's the one that's always stuck with me.
Well, and you're doing it too.
Thank you. Yeah, so my last question for you is who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Well, I'll try to say this without crying, but my father-in-law, who's pretty sick, is just a wonderful man and seems to always be unconditionally loving to everyone. Never complains, even while he's been sick for the past year or so. If you ask him how he's doing, he always says just totally awesome. And he's an extraordinary person and the greatest example of sort of at least what I aspire to be in my life. And I think it is sort of super heroic, like a superhero to come through that and to have and to be positive while you're not feeling good. So yeah, I would say him. His name is Dick Brown, Richard T. Brown.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, that was my last question, and I just had so much fun talking to you. I just wanted to keep adding questions because I wanted to keep talking to you.
Well, this is just a really lovely conversation. I'm really happy to spend a little time with you, Maya. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you for calling in and spending so much time with us. Have an awesome rest of your day. I hope we get to chat again someday.
I hope so too. It was really fun.
Yeah, if you ever hop one state over to Colorado and Denver, walk on into the Seacrest Studio Children's Hospital, Colorado. Would love to have you.
I think I could just walk right from here.
Just walk on in. All right. Thanks, Ty.
Okay, bye, y'all.